All right. Who's ready to learn how to get 1,000 new eyes on your business? Whoop whoop! Let's get 1,000 new eyes on our businesses. So, you need eyes on your business on a consistent basis. And getting 1,000 new eyes on your business will change your game. Why? Because it's 12,000 new eyes, new eyeballs, people. Okay? Who would see you in your business. And if 1,000 seems scary, I'm going to give you some ways on how you can reach 1,000 eyeballs in a month or less. It's actually not that hard. Our brains make it hard, but it's really not that hard. So I'm going to give you some ideas in a minute. So I'm going to share a few ideas on how to do this, and then I will share the number one way I think is the best way to get 1,000 people or 1,000 new eyes on your business now. So to get 1,000 new eyes on your business, here are some few ideas that you could do right now. And here, so I'm going to use two different types. So we can use our existing eyeballs because these are warm leads. These are people who have built a relationship with us. These are people that we built a relationship with them. These are past clients, current clients, people who desperately need our services but are using it. I don't have time. It's not the right time. I can't, all those excuses, right? But they need us and they want us. So you can, so if you have, let me ask you this. How many of you have 1,000 or more friends on Facebook? I have like 3,100. How many of you have maybe 1,000 followers on Instagram or more? Okay. So here's idea number one. It had to get 1,000 new eyes on you. Is you can message 50 people every single day for 20 days. That's all it takes. 20 days and you can have 1,000 new eyeballs right on you. Now, if you are like, I don't want to do that, then continue listening because I'm just going to give you some ideas and you can choose which one suits you. So you can message 50 people every day. Say you do that 5 days a week. I think that would take you about 4 weeks if I'm doing my math right. It would take you 4 weeks to reach that 1,000 new eyes or existing eyes. And that's really good for you because here's the thing. When you are in people's DMs, you're more than likely to see their their content, meaning that they are going to start seeing your content. And if you're already showing up, you're already speaking to your ideal audience, you're already creating epic content for your sorry, this short is very necky. Then they're going to start seeing your stuff, and if your stuff is communicating and is really being powerful, then you can have 50 new eyeballs on your content every single day. Now, what would that be like? What do you think you'll be able to create with these new eyes on your content? If you have an email list of 1,000 subscribers, what if you emailed 50 of them every day, like 50 subscribers? What if you emailed them the 9-word email? You don't know what the 9-word email? Go to Google, type in 9-word email. That's it. It's really simple. What if you did that? So that is the 2 ideas for your warm leads, okay? Is message 50 people every day for 20 days through your messenger, or you can do email if you have a list of 1,000 people or more. Now, if for cold leads, you can always go to a Facebook group. I would say make sure this Facebook group has 5,000, if not more, members in the group. And ask the person who runs the group, hey, can I come in and do a live training? Here's a training. Here's what I believe your audience will, these members will receive. Is that cool? And at least that, and if you figure like maybe 20% will see it, then that's 1,000 new eyeballs with one training. Or, if it's more than that, say if it's 10,000, then you have that's even better, right? So you could give a training inside a Facebook group of 5K or more. You can also be on a podcast and share your expertise with the podcast hosts, especially if they get over 1,000 or get at least 1,000 downloads every single episode. So you want to begin gravitating to those podcasts, and you want to make sure that this podcast has similar audience. So for me, I love working with women and mom entrepreneurs. So I would need to find a podcast that has at least 1,000 downloads per episode, that is going after women and mom entrepreneurs. So that is one also easy way to get in front of 1,000 new eyeballs. You can also find a show. So there's some entrepreneurs who have their own like TV show, and it goes through Roku, it streams, they go through YouTube. They have this show and they invite entrepreneurs on those shows to talk about whatever. Once again, it's the same idea. Do they have my ideal audience in mind? Do they have, at least 1,000 people watching every single episode? And do these people need my services? And then you can always reach out to the host and ask, can I be on your show? There's some incredible Facebook groups out there that is exactly what they're geared to. They're geared to people who are looking for shows or podcasts to be on. So this can, all this can be done if you chose to do it. And I would say, along with what I'm going to tell you, pick one of these strategies and maybe do both. Because if you can do both, if you can do one training and do what I'm about to tell you, that is like double your exposure right there. Double the eyeballs on your business. But if you wanted to utilize your time and get in front of 1,000 new eyes with ease, here's what I believe is the number one way to do this. And it's really simple, and to me is a lot of fun. But you have to realize I'm an extrovert and I love, love, love talking and meeting new people. So the number one way is collaborations. You heard me right. Collaborations. Collaborations are so much fun. You get to meet incredible entrepreneurs. You get to collaborate with other people, and you get to get in front of new eyes. So who should be a good quality candidate for you to collaborate with? I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you. You want to collaborate with people who have these qualities. One, they need to work with a similar audience like that you do. That's a given. They need your audiences should be the same. Two, they shouldn't be competitive. They shouldn't be as competitive as you. Meaning that if you're a business coach, that maybe that other person shouldn't be a business coach either. Maybe if you're a business coach, then go with the branding expert, maybe a copywriting expert, a marketing expert, like a funnels expert. People like these, mindset or money energetic expert, right? So you want to begin thinking about, okay, here's what I do. How can I find people who will be a nice collaborator? Now, not to say that you can't overlap. Like I've worked with and collaborated with other business people, business coaches. And I just make sure that there was not too much of an overlap. Because for example, I interviewed someone who was also a business coach, but she did more like the mindset and energy piece, whereas I came in and did more of the content and marketing piece. So there you go. So you want to make sure they have a similar audience, so that what they do and what you do are very complementary, and they have an email list or a nice size following. They can even have this too. So here's some other ideas. So of course, do they have a good following, and do they have a good size email list? Do they have memberships? Do they have monthly meetings or trainings that they do inside their Facebook group and they're looking for experts? And podcasts. Do they have a podcast? These are the people you want to begin collaborating with because they have an audience, they have an email list, and they have a good sized following. So that way, when if YouTube collaborate, they will begin to send out promotions to their audience about you. So you are now leveraging someone else's audience for yourself. You are leveraging your time. You get to get in front of their audience, who is your ideal audience, and promote yourself, showcase your incredible brilliance. You get to do that by having fun and doing something you love. Also, when you collaborate, it gets you in front of a new set of audience. It builds your own audience. There we go. It builds your own audience and you get in front of a new set of audience. And if you do it right, you can begin looking like the expert in your field. You get to present yourself as an expert, especially whenever you start collaborating with some people who might be a little bit above you. In your mind, you might be seeing them as above you. Maybe they're a few years ahead of you. Maybe they're making more money than you. Maybe they're, doing more things than you. Then, whenever you collaborate with them, it tells their audience that you are just like them. That you are on the same level as this expert. And it gives you immediate trust. Because they trust this person. They trust this person. And they trust, they won't just bring on just nobody. They're going to make sure they bring on somebody who is an expert in their field, they're good at what they do, and that they love. Okay? So this is why collaborations are so awesome. And remember, the big dogs do it. Amy Porterfield, his name just slipped my mind. And I totally hung out with him before. Amy Porterfield, Marie Folio. There's all these entrepreneurs, and I'm just like, my brain is not bringing them up. But you get one picture. Look at all the big people who are making 6, 7, 8 figures. They have all collaborated. And usually they collaborate with one another. All right? So, if they are collaborating, why aren't you? If they are leveraging their another entrepreneur's audience and list and and all that, why aren't you? So this is one of the important ways you want to begin leveraging your time and energy and start making yourself more of that expert. Because now you need to gain trust in the field. And the number one way to gain trust is, I think, in my opinion, you need to be consistent. Nobody trusts someone who's not consistent. Your message needs to speak to that, your audience, and that they can see that you are willing to partner with people, some big time players in the industry. You're willing to partner with some incredible, amazing people and get in front of their audience. So that's how you're going to gain trust pretty quick. You can get new clients from this person clients or from this person audience. That's what I'm trying to say. So you can build your audience, which means you can get new clients. You could even get referrals. What if this collaborator could be your next client? What if this collaborator could be a good referral system for you? Because what if she's getting a lot of people who's saying, I need this, and she doesn't really offer it. Maybe that's not her area of expertise. So now she can direct them to you. Wouldn't that be amazing? And remember, your net work is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. You want to build your business, want to get to 6 figures, collaborate with the big dogs. Or collaborate with people who are who are doing amazing, great things. And you should be getting out of your comfort zone. It should make you feel a little like, don't be partnering with somebody you feel comfortable with. It should be with people who you're like, ooh, that's kind of scary. Would she say yes? Would he want to collaborate with me? All you have to do is ask. So, okay, where do you find collaborators? I say go to the people you know first. I don't know about you, but I love to follow other entrepreneurs. Usually these entrepreneurs are already, making a whole bunch of money. They're already at a future level I want to be at, right? So I follow them. I love digesting their content. I love what they're up to in life. I love it. So go to them. Ask them. Like I just asked somebody, two people, two women who are both mamas. They are like, they're different industries, but I love them. They are like I just asked both of them, like, would you be a part of an interview series? And they both said yes. So you just ask. What if they say no? Then okay, that's fine. Maybe they will be on, like maybe they'll collaborate with you later once you establish some trust. So people you know and follow. If you follow some big time players, you can always ask them to collaborate. And you can also look online. Type in, for you, you can always look on Amazon, LinkedIn, or Google, and you can always type in like, whoever you're serving, and then the quality of the person. Like for me, I like it when my people or the women I collaborate with are authors, speakers, and coaches, so I can look up, women-based coaching or, mom-owned businesses in Amazon, LinkedIn, or Google and see what comes up. And then look on the do a little research and then just ask. All right, so if you're wondering, well, this is all great, because think about it. Here, I'm going to give you a little bit of math. I'm going to back you up and give you a little bit of math. When you start to collaborate with people, especially like the reason I'm saying go with people who are bigger names than you, who have done more than you, maybe they're best-selling authors. Maybe they have created multiple 6-7 figure incomes. Maybe they have been on all the, they've been on Entrepreneur Magazine, Forbes, they've been seen on NBC and all this stuff, like the likelihood of them having a following and an audience over 1,000 is very, very high. Okay, so that's why and even if they don't, you only need one or two collaborators who have maybe a list of 500 people to get to your next 1,000. Or if you want to start off a little smaller, if you want it, I wouldn't recommend it because that's that's your comfort level, but you could start out with some people who are a little bit smaller who maybe have email lists of 300. So you work with 3 women who have email lists of 300. That's 900 new eyeballs right there. And you know that they're going to promote on social media, which is a different set of audience. There you go. So here's some ideas on how to collaborate. Like just some of the things that I've done and other people have done is you could do an interview series. The interview series could be like through Zoom. It could be through your Facebook group. It could be through multiple ways. So an interview series. You can exchange speaking opportunities. If you are a speaker and you want more speaking opportunities, then you need to be seeking those who have been getting speaking opportunities and they know how to do it. What if you contacted them and just asked them like, hey, I see that you talk about XYZ. I love it. I was wondering if we could get on a call and I could share some places I believe would love to have you on their stage. You're making it about them, and more than likely they would say yes. And then you can get on a chat with them and just let them know some places that you feel that their voice will really resonate with. And then, go on there without, oh, well, they're going to give me a speaking engagement. Don't go on there on that attitude. Go on that call with the attitude of, I'm just going to serve. And more than likely, people are going to reciprocate anyways. So you want to be in that law of reciprocation. What if another way is book reviews. Could you write a review for my book? And whenever I release it, I would love to let your audience, would you be willing to share with your audience because you wrote my book review? What if you got a popular author to do that? What if you ask somebody to come inside your training to talk about a segment in your training or in your workshop to give your workshop even more value? And then they're going to promote your workshop to their audience. What if you did that? What if another way to collaborate is promoting a service to their audience and then promoting their service to your audience, especially if you know that maybe they're an author, they have a pre-launch for the book coming on, and say you are wanting your book to get more eyes. What if you can say, hey, I would love, my book complements your audience in these ways. Your book complements my audience in these ways. I'll promote your pre-launch, if you promote my book. Is that okay? Is that cool? What if you did that? And then finally, what if you hosted a virtual summit? Now, before you think about, oh my gosh, a virtual summit, it doesn't have to be anything big. What if you just had it's just like a one-day summit and you just blocked out the day and you just interview these entrepreneurs for 20 or 30 minutes and you get 5 speakers. And of course, the topics are all revolving around something that you do with these 5 speakers. And if each speaker has an email list of 200, that's your 1,000 new eyeballs. Like, that wouldn't be hard to set up. What if you just did it through Zoom or did it through a Facebook group? Maybe it could be like a pop-up Facebook group and you just go live in it. And if you use these 5 different speakers, it doesn't have to be hard. And how much fun would you have, especially if you love to interview people? Like, I love interviewing people. Like, that's something I love to do, so I do it. So this is some ideas, and it builds your email list, it builds your audience, and it builds it builds you as an expert. It positions you really nice. And you want to make sure that however you're collaborating, it should be a win-win for you and that other person. And I truly believe that your collaborator must agree to promote you, especially if it's a virtual summit, interviews, training, workshop, whatever it is. It needs to be, it needs to be reciprocated. Okay, if you do this, you need to promote it to your email list or on your social media. And I would say if you're going to go that route, provide the content. If you don't know what to put or how that will look, this is where we need to talk, because I can help you. I can give you exactly what you need to say, how to word it, help you tweak it, help you edit it, so that way whenever you send over the content to them, it's like, oh my gosh, I can just copy and paste it, or just copy and tweak it and then send it out. You need to be providing all that, and I can help you in that department. So if you started to look for a few collaborators today, you could have a mini virtual summit or be on a podcast or do an interview within the next few days, within the next 30 days. you could certainly do that in the next 30 days. Now you can go out and get 1,000 new eyes on your business in 30 days.